friends, hello, hi, hey girl, hey, hi. So today we are going to be doing something kind of fun. First of all, happy Friday. You made it through Thanksgiving. If you have an awkward Thanksgiving, you made it. If you have a great Thanksgiving, I hope you had a lot of fun. If you went through the whole dinner and your family didn't talk about politics, honestly, you deserve a freaking medal. Happy Thanksgiving, friends. And for those of you who maybe don't celebrate Thanksgiving, hope you guys still had a really good week. Today, we're gonna be doing something kind of fun. It was really funny because I was talking to my boyfriend and I was like, I was talking about how well Monday's video did because I was shook at like how many views I was getting really fast. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, they really like this video. And he was like, you know, people really just like to listen to you complain. And I was like, I know, they love it. And he was like, that makes them, not me. Don't you just love love? Today we are gonna be, I guess, not really complaining. This is kind of an anti-haul, but not really, because I'm not trying to tell you like products not to buy. I'm more just saying like I'm so happy I didn't pick up these products that I was really debating getting for whatever reason. So basically this is just like products I wanted, I didn't get for whatever reason, and I'm glad that my plans fell through on that. You know what I mean? Like it was fate for them not to be in the drawers behind me today. First thing I want to talk about is the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. This thing is $48 and it is like a luminous setting spray. Okay, Jaclyn Hill swears by this. A lot of beauty gurus swear by this. They say it's like the best thing ever. Here's the tea about me. I really don't like luminous. Like, I don't like looking luminous. I don't like when my foundation looks particularly glowy. It just looks bad on me. It makes me look very textured. All of the dewy foundations I have just make me look very textured. It's not for my skin. I wanted this purely because, and I'm gonna be totally honest with myself here, I really wanted this because I thought the bottle was beautiful. I love purple. I love the gradient of purple to white. I think it's so pretty. Tatcha's, like, I have this right in front of me. Tatcha's aesthetic gets me so good. I love her aesthetic of all of her packaging. The packaging is beautiful. And the fact that all of these people were like,
oh my God, it does everything. It's like literally the best thing on the planet.
I was like, oh
my God, I want to have the best thing on the planet.
I don't really use setting spray to begin with. Like I have random setting sprays. I don't really use them. It's pretty much the makeup step that I almost always 99% of the time forget because I don't really see a difference between wearing setting spray and not. There's just no difference for me. I think some people swear by it and say it works so good for them. I don't really see a particular difference for me. It's just not there. So this would have been kind of a pointless purchase for me anyway. And if it really did do its job and made me look dewy, I probably would have hated how it looked anyway. So I'm glad I didn't buy it. I'm glad I didn't waste $50. But I've been so tempted so many times to just grab it because it's so pretty. And it would look so cute on my desk. This is the crazy person in me talking. As Nisa Pisa would say, this is like the goblin, the makeup goblin, being like,
buy it.
But you don't need to. I am so happy that I skipped the little, they're called the fun-sized mini eyeshadow palettes from Violet Voss. There were 4 of them that came out. There was the Berry Burst. I have everything on my laptop right here if you can see me looking dumb. There was the Fruit Sorbet, Creme Brulee, and Le Macron. Le Macron. If any of you are from France, can you just tell me how to pronounce that in the comments? Because or if you know French, I don't know. That's probably not even French. I'm probably just an idiot. I'm really happy I didn't pick these up. I was very tempted because they're very affordable. They're like $18. And I like Violet Voss's shadows. I used the Holy Grail palette today on my eyes. I really love their shadows. I think they're beautiful. I didn't need these. Like, I would have just bought them to do like a review on the channel, and then I never would have grabbed for them because they're so tiny. I don't really use smaller eyeshadow palettes too much. I already basically had Berry Burst with the Holy Grail palette. This is like literally the same exact colors as Berry Burst. I already have the Violet Voss Rainbow palette, which is essentially Fruit Sorbet. I already have palettes like Creme Brulee. It's just an orangey, warm tone, neutral palette. The only one that was slightly interesting was Le Macaron, that one I can't pronounce. The only one that was slightly interesting to me was that one, but it was an all shimmer palette. And I already have the Rainbow palette from Violet Voss that is an all shimmer palette, and I don't use it because it's an all shimmer palette, and I really like to have palettes that like do full looks. I'm not the type of person that uses like multiple palettes when I do my makeup, so I rarely grab for that one anyway. So I was like, well, that would be stupid. I think I was really intrigued by the fact that they were cute, concise, and the price was really, really great, because normally you see these brands, we're going to talk about another one that really overcharges for these mini palettes. They really overcharge for these tiny little palettes. So it was nice seeing a brand be reasonable with their pricing, and I also was drawn to the colors, but they're just colors I have. They're stuff I have. It is a cute idea and a cute collection, and these would also make great Christmas ones, like for people, but it's just not for me. I'm sad though, because I think it's so cute. Okay, next. I am so happy I didn't pick up the Urban Decay Backtalk palette. I anti-hauled it, right? And then a bunch of you commented, and you guys were like, no, Hannah, you're wrong.
As usual.
It's so good. You guys were like, it's amazing. We love it. We love the blushes. It's monochromatic. We live for this palette. And I was like, okay, sis, like maybe I need to get this. And then it went on sale for like half off, for like $23. The poof is going crazy. My hair's been getting too long to do the poofs, but I'm still trying to make it work. It went on sale for like $23. And I was like, sis, I have to get this. That's such a good deal. And I was gonna get it, and I was this close to getting it, and I didn't, and I'm so happy I didn't, because I never would have used this. It never would have gotten used. I don't grab for palettes that have just blush in them, like eyeshadow palettes and blush, stuff like that. I had one of those Tarte palettes that had like bronzers in it. I never used it. I ended up giving it away to somebody who probably uses it every day because they don't have a billion things. I would never use this. I would never use the blushes. Realistically, the eyeshadows are just nothing special, and somebody hit the nail on the head on how I feel about Urban Decay, especially with palettes like this. I don't like the pan sizes of Urban Decay. When I did my Naked Cherry review, somebody expressed what I was feeling, and I didn't even know it. They were like, I hate the pan sizes of Urban Decay. And I was like, in the shape of them. And I was like, me too. I hate the rectangular, super skinny, like way that they do their eyeshadows. It does not appeal to me. I just don't like it. It's such a petty thing to not like, but it just makes me not want to grab for it as much because of that like shaping thing that they have. And this palette is set up the same way. I also heard that that mirror in the middle, I didn't know this when I was thinking about buying it, but I learned later, the mirror in the middle like comes out, and that would have annoyed the ever-living crap out of me. So I'm really glad I stuck to my guns on this when I anti-hauled it and I didn't end up buying it, because I don't think I would have ever gotten a ton of use out of this Backtalk palette. This one I'm still like, what if I buy it one day? I'm never going to. I can't justify it. I really can't. I'm so happy I never bought the Tom Ford, the Ultimate Bronzer. This bronzer is $112. Ask me why I want it. It's just because I want it. It's because it's new and it's $112, and I think I would be so fancy using it. But realistically, it's a freaking bronzer. I have expensive bronzers and I like them quite a bit, but they're good. My $50 bronzer is really, really, really great. I can't imagine spending an extra $62 is going to improve the quality enough for it to be worth it for me. This, I wanted it so bad because I always wanted to try Tom Ford because I'm so obsessed with their packaging. I think it's so beautiful. And I've heard that the products inside are like amazing. So I've always really wanted to try it, but I had to just sit down one day and be like, none of it could possibly be worth the money, right? Like none of it could I know we say that about like eyeshadow palettes and stuff, like there are some very expensive, like Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath, but I feel like that is different because I feel like eyeshadow palettes, there really can be a huge significant difference in your eyeshadow based on the palettes you use. Like I truly believe that. I just can't justify, like, from my most expensive bronzer, a $62 difference to making that much of a difference in my bronzing. Like, I just can't justify it. There's not enough variety in bronzer for it to be worth it. I'm glad I didn't pick this up because I know that I would have gotten it, been so excited for like a day, and then been like, this was not worth $100, but I'll never return it because I already spent the money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so glad I skipped this one. I'm so glad I just like let go of this idea that I'm the type of person that can afford a $112 bronzer. I am not that type of person, and I don't think I ever will be. So I think the only way I'll ever get Tom Ford is if they ever put me on their PR list, but I don't even think they do PR lists. So I don't think I'm ever going to get anything Tom Ford. And you know what? I'm okay with that. The next eyeshadow palette, you guys are going to be like, no way. There was a moment in my life, guys. I'm not proud of it. I'm not like happy to admit it to you guys. I'm not, you know. There was a moment in my life when I debated getting the Laura Lee Nudie Patootie palette. I know. I know, okay, I know. It was before the controversy, it was before the races, it was before the stupid apology video, it was before all of this. It was when it first came out. I was really tempted. And then my friend Lacey of Spooky Lips and Fat Hips, she did a review and she said she really liked it. And I was like, damn it, Lacey, because she always makes me buy things that I don't need. So I was like looking at it and I was like, you know, it does kind of look like the Naked 3, but you know what gets me, truly? I have a couple palettes that have this color, but it gets me every time. That like orange mustard color, that like super burnt orangey, yellowy, mustardy color that's in some of these palettes, I don't know what it is. I think that's like the perfect crease shade. Like an orange mustard color is like my ideal. The only reason I keep my Lorac 3 palette is because it has that shade. I'm gonna grab it, hold on. One of the only reasons I keep this palette is because of this shade Terracotta. I am obsessed with it. I love it so. This palette would have been long gone if it wasn't for that shade Terracotta. Depot it, but I'm not going to because I want it. But this, I just love it. And this palette had that. It had that like kind of burnt orangey mustard shade, and I was so into it. Like I was like, this is cool. And I saw the packaging and I was actually super into the packaging. I was super into all of it. Why I'm glad I didn't get this is because I basically have it similar with this palette. I had the Naked 3, which was also very similar, and I never use them. I never use these types of palettes. These like rose goldy palettes that are super on trend, I just don't use them. I don't know what it is. They're just not my cup of tea. I can't really explain it to you guys because it doesn't like make a lot of sense, but they're just not my favorite thing on the planet. I wouldn't have used it. It is beautiful, and in hindsight, I would have been supporting somebody I don't like, and I don't love that, and I wouldn't have been able to like use it on my channel and stuff, so it would have been kind of pointless. So I'm really glad I skipped this. It is really pretty though. This was my favorite palette from her brand. She did a really nice job with this one. This launch was like so good in comparison to all of the other ones. I just loved this one. Okay, next. I'm really glad I never bought any of these Sephora Pro eyeshadow palettes that were like really big. I almost bought the very bright, colorful one, the like editorial, I think it was called. I almost bought that one. I was very close to buying that one because I saw Robbie Christie do a video with it and her look came out so pretty. I just never would use it. I have a bunch of bright palettes right now because I have been getting more into color, kind of. Like I've found some brands I really like that have colorful palettes and I've been playing. Like I just got the Vivid Pigments palette. I have a few others that I really enjoy. But I wouldn't have used this enough to warrant the $65 price tag. There's just no way I would have. It's too much. And they have these newer ones now that I almost got. Which one is this one? There's one that's like, I'll put a picture of it. It's like a pinky orangey. I was very close to buying this one too. The $65 price tag, I understand because you're getting 28 shades. That actually is a pretty good value. But the $65 price tag really turned me off. And what I'm finding more and more about myself is like, I don't really love massive palettes anymore. When I was first starting out in makeup, I loved the like Morphe palettes, the big large palettes that you could play with because it gave me a lot of colors that I didn't have, so I was getting a really good deal. I was getting a ton of shades and stuff like that. But now I have so many colors that having big palettes like this, it just causes like repeats of shades that I already have. So realistically, any of these Sephora palettes probably wouldn't have gotten a ton of use in my collection. I just don't think they were for me, but I do think they're beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I'm very happy that I didn't buy is the Huda Beauty The Obsessions collection. Those little mini 9-pan palettes that are actually very deceivingly tiny once you see them in store. They're like shockingly small. I knew they were supposed to be like mini palettes, but they're like, when I was talking about like Violet Voss's mini palettes, I was saying how like they at least had a decent size. It was like the size of the palm. It was the size of your like whole hand basically. But when you're looking at these little Huda ones, they're actually like so small. They're so tiny. The real one I almost got, I've had it in my cart multiple times. I was so ready to get it, is the Coral Cove one. Those bright coral shades just speak to me on like a personal level. Like all of the other ones I thought were pretty, but I could like pass them. That palette, that Coral Cove, I thought was like the most beautiful palette I've ever, like I just thought it was beautiful. I loved it. I'm glad I didn't buy it. It is beautiful and I probably would have used it a few times, but I've noticed, if my drawer's open right now so you can just see, I have a lot in there, you know. I'm not ashamed, but little palettes really do get lost. I think I'm gonna relocate some of them to a different place, so that way they're not getting as like swallowed whole by all the monster large palettes I have in there. I think I'm getting some new storage soon, some extra storage, so hopefully they'll be able to have their own little place, so that way they aren't getting like swallowed whole. But as of right now, I just don't reach for small palettes like this. I just don't. I reach for like medium-sized palettes at this point right now. It's just where I'm at. I do think they're beautiful though. I like the matte to shimmer ratio in each palette. It's a pretty good, like, you could make a cohesive look, and this Coral Cove one just really almost got me. I never would have gotten the use out of it that I should have, and for $27, that's pretty expensive. Like, you can buy a lot for $27. That's like a lot of things. That's like a nice dinner out for one. That's like going to the movies for two. And I wouldn't have used enough to justify the $27 purchase for how tiny it is and for the lack of use it would get. Next thing I'm glad I did not pick up. I am so happy that I talked myself out of my ban, because I don't buy from Kylie Cosmetics anymore. I might start now that she's at Ulta, and I have Ulta's return policy to back me up, but I previously didn't buy from Kylie because I thought her return policy was like terrible. I thought it was so bad. I hated her return policy. I hated the fact that there was not one. I hated that. So I might start buying from Kylie again, depending, because I just loved her liquid lipsticks, but I'm still like on the fence about it because her morals are kind of skewed. But she came out with this Halloween collection, and I didn't really love it until I saw the eyeshadow palette. I don't know why I thought this was so cool. Looking at it now, it's not even as cool as I remember. I think those like bright shimmer shades really got me. I have been so into shimmer shades lately. Like, I'm just obsessed with shimmery shades. I think they're so pretty. I don't understand it either. I'm ultimately glad I didn't buy this because it's kind of the same premise as the last one, where it just is kind of tiny and it kind of would have gotten eaten up, I feel, in my collection. And not even that, but again, there's not a lot of looks I personally will create with this because there aren't many matte shades. There's like, and the two matte shades that are in there don't really go together. It's like a matte brown and a matte gray, and that doesn't really work for me. Like, I would have had to pull other palettes to make this palette work, which would have low-key annoyed me because I really am one of those people that's just like, I want it all in one. I want to be able to create looks all in one with one palette. It is beautiful though. Those shimmers look really pretty, but at the end of the day, I'm glad I stuck with my Kylie ban, and I'm glad that I'm sticking with that for now. I'm glad. My friend, I had the Royal Peach or whatever it was, and I gave that to one of my best friends, and she loves it. She's so happy with it. She like loves Kylie. It's like the only makeup brand she really knows. She's obsessed with it. She texted me about the holiday release, and I was like, I didn't even see it. She loves Kylie though. So final thing, I don't even know if this is released yet. The final thing I'm really happy that I'm either not gonna buy or didn't buy is the new Tarteist Pro Remix palette. I gotta say, guys, I was tempted by this one. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was high-key tempted by this palette. I thought the color scheme was different. I thought it was cool. I liked that it was the concept of the Tarteist Pro, which I ended up decluttering, but did really, really like that palette. Thought it was cool that it was the same concept. Liked the color story, thought it was cool. The only reason I came to a realization though, because I was thinking about it and I was like, I want this palette. It's so cool. It's so different, for Tarte. And then I was like, if another brand put out this palette that was more interesting, would I want it? And the answer is no. The only reason I was attracted to this palette was because it was different from everything else Tarte is doing. And then I really looked at it with a critical lens and I was like, I don't need this. I'm not going to use these colors. They're kind of random. They're kind of all over the place. The color scheme is like cool tones, warm tones, purples, greens, blues. It's like kind of everywhere, like reds thrown in. At the end of the day, I probably wouldn't get a ton of use out of this, and I decluttered that Tarteist Pro palette, the original one, for a reason, so I'm glad I skipped this one. I'm glad I won't be getting it. I think at the end of the day, Tarte is just so boring to me that the one time they did something semi-cool, I was like, oh my god, I have to get it, but I don't have to get it. We don't need this. Yeah, it kind of looks like somebody just like threw up color on it, to be honest. There's no real cohesion here at all now that I'm really looking at it too. I don't even think this is out yet, but I'm already glad that I'm not buying it. And it's like 50 bucks, which is ridiculous. That was my video for today. That was products I am really happy that I skipped. Please let me know down below any products that you guys are really happy that you skipped, because I love hearing what you guys have to say, because I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, or just like, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you for being here. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!